Land crossing for the U.S.-Mexico border opens Monday for those who are vaccinated. Coming up, what businesses near the Mexico border are expecting.
Plus, Pfizer says their new COVID pill is effective. We'll explain the steps needed to get it approved for treatment.
And later on Break It Down, sports executives creating controversy because of racism, sexism, and bad behavior. What lessons can come out of these situations?
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Rob Winder.
And I'm Carolina Hassett. Thank you for joining us.
The U.S. government announced the border will be open for non-essential travel for those who are vaccinated starting on Monday. Reporter Peyton Muse spoke with businesses and the mayor in Nogales to see what's expected for the opening.
This fashion and perfume store is ready for Monday's opening.
We repaired so many things and we're starting to get this place ready.
After being closed for over a year, ZULEMA LOPEZ, who works at this store, says they're back with a new approach.
We have new merchandise and we changed the whole display.
Before the pandemic, Morley Avenue was the heart of commerce in this city. After the U.S. government sealed the border in March of 2020, most stores closed, but that might change. Nogales Mayor Arturo Carino has pushed for opening the border for a while.
I hope there's a long line of people trying to come across, but whatever it is, it could be a plus for us economically. Let's see if that happens.
According to the Arizona-Mexico Commission, visitors from Mexico contribute 60 to 70% of sales tax revenue in Arizona border communities. People from the U.S. can cross into Mexico, but Mexicans cannot cross the land border into the U.S. due to COVID restrictions.
People from Mexico, they want to come and shop and they're really excited and we're expecting long lines.
However, while the U.S. side of Nogales has suffered, Sonora, Mexico has experienced a bit of a boom. In Sonora, Mexico, the international sales increased in 2020 by almost 15% compared to 2019, and there's no indication that those consumers will return to the U.S. side to spend their money.
You have to remember, they've been gone for a year and a half. They're accustomed to shopping in Nogales, Sonora.
In Nogales, Peyton Muse, Cronkite News.
People coming from Mexico must present proof of COVID-19 vaccination and explain the reason for traveling. Those who are crossing for essential travel do not have to be vaccinated at this time.
Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich is filing a lawsuit against OSHA for their vaccine mandate on large companies. Arizona is one of 11 states that are joining together in the lawsuit. OSHA finalized a rule that would make companies with 100 or more employees either have all employees vaccinated or get tested weekly. The Attorney General and others say this is an overstep and should be decided by each individual state. The Arizona Attorney General has been adamant on stopping enforcement on things like wearing masks and getting vaccines for COVID. Pfizer got their children's vaccine approved, and now they're working on getting something else approved, a COVID pill. They said that their pill cuts the risk of death or hospitalization down by 89% in high-risk adults. The COVID pill is used along with a commonly used HIV drug for the highest effectiveness of treating COVID after the first signs of symptoms. Pfizer's planning on submitting their data to the Food and Drug Administration as soon as possible.
Despite medical advances against the disease, COVID-19 has still been the deadliest pandemic in U.S. history, and frontline workers have been hit especially hard. That fact was recognized on Capitol Hill this week, as Kimberly Silverio Bautista tells us from our Washington bureau.
Images, candles, foods, and flowers. Typically, Dia de los Muertos altars like this are set up to honor family members who have died. But this memorial on Capitol Hill had a slightly different focus.
The essential workers are Latinos and Latinas that put their lives at risk, died to serve, and maintained our country during the worst pandemic of our generation.
So you put a pack of cigarettes, you put some cookies. California Congressman Raul Ruiz said the event hosted this week by the Congressional Hispanic Caucus was the first time Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, has been officially marked on the Hill. Members came to honor a specific essential worker who died during the COVID-19 pandemic. Some, like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, even offered a few words of remembrance. Almost 750,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus, more than 21,000 of them in Arizona. Studies have shown that essential workers, those in healthcare, agriculture, the service industries, and more have been among the hardest hit. Arizona Congressman Greg Stanton stopped by to pay his respects and honor the deceased. Stanton said the country and Arizona did not handle the pandemic well. But learning that lesson, he said, is just another way to honor those who died.
We need to learn the lessons. That's one way we can honor the people that are being honored here at this event.
In Washington, Kimberly Silverio Bautista, Cronkite News.
Now, this week's memorial would not be a one-time thing if Congressman Stanton has his way. He is the lead sponsor on a bill to make the first Monday in March a Memorial Day for COVID victims. All 5 House Democrats are among the 55 co-sponsors on the bill, which has yet to get a hearing.
Phoenix Pride is holding its first large event since the start of the pandemic tomorrow. How they're preparing for the big day coming up.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
wow,
feast,
and calories don't count.
Look back,
that is me,
discover.
And you know the whole story.
There's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that...
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Phoenix Pride is being celebrated this weekend after being postponed last year due to COVID-19. One LGBTQ organization is eager to hit the streets. I spoke with some of these groups about what parade goers are looking forward to.
I'm 6'2", so nobody really wanted to mess with me, but you know, they can talk from afar. As I started to grow and meet new people in the city who were just like me, I found they had many different stories than I.
The Grand Canyon Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence say Pride is an opportunity to express themselves. One member whose persona name is Sister Navajo says this means doing it guilt-free.
We take that away. We take that out and we let you be you and be proud of being you.
Many organizations like the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, or GLSEN, seek to provide a safe space for individuals to be who they are, especially when outside environments aren't as accepting.
LGBTQ youth are still being bullied and harassed, both by students and by educators.
While GLSEN will not be at Pride this year, the organization moved its celebrations online, giving students the opportunity to express themselves through art.
It's just a really important moment for the students because they feel supported. It's an opportunity for them to demonstrate what they care about.
The Grand Canyon Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence say they are excited to hit the streets this weekend. And while they say Pride is celebrated every day, the missing piece last year was getting the chance to celebrate with the community.
Just see people cheering and having a great time and just loving who they are. I think that's just going to be the most amazing thing in the whole wide world to see.
This Saturday, the Pride Parade will start at 10 a.m. at 3rd Street in Thomas. The celebrations will continue on Sunday with the Music Festival at Steel Indian School Park from noon to 9 p.m.
The Arizona Humane Society is planning on opening a new state-of-the-art facility to help meet increasing needs of animal welfare in the valley. The new campus will replace the current Sunny Slope facility and will be around 72,000 square feet. According to the Arizona Humane Society, construction costs will run around $41.5 million in total. So far, they have raised about $26 million for the project, but they need more help from donors to complete construction. The new facility is scheduled to open in early 2023.
The weather is perfect right now for outside activities with friends and family. Evan Liss is in the Cronkite News Weather Center with the full forecast.
Well, we're going to put those nice temperatures on hold for just a little bit as we have the 90s return for the weekend. Another weekend warm up. It feels like deja vu before we cool down during the work week next week and dryness continues into the foreseeable future. We have this ridge of high pressure parked over our region. It's going to stay near us going into the weekend. That's what's going to help us go near that 90-degree mark and keep us pretty clear. This before we have a larger storm system move in off the Pacific at the beginning of next week. On Tuesday, we start to fall under its influence. Mid to high level clouds, lower temperatures, and some breezy conditions across the state. We continue to be under its influence into the mid part of next week. Wednesday, we're still seeing nice mild temperatures. We have an expansive ridge of high pressure, though, at the end of next week, moving off the Pacific, warming our temperatures back up and clearing out our skies once again. I want to bring up the low temperatures national map right now for tomorrow, just to point out this huge area of cold air that has slid down from Canada down to some really low parts of the country. 49 degrees in New Orleans, 52 degrees in Orlando, just a couple degrees outside of that 40-degree threshold, 45 degrees in Houston, 44 in San Antonio. We are going to be way protected from that cold air, luckily, as per usual. 90 degrees on Saturday. It's a completely different world down here. 88 degrees on Sunday. Before that storm system moves through at the beginning of next week, bringing some of those clouds in, lower temperatures, before that large area of high pressure moves back in at the end of next week, clearing out our skies. I'm Evan Liss in the Cronkite News Weather Center.
I'm Amna Zapan. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. We take a look at reaction from players and fans in response to the Robert Sarver allegations.
She's the White House correspondent for the PBS NewsHour.
It has been a historic and traumatic week in Washington, D.C.
Former reporter for the New York Times, political analyst for NBC, and multimedia journalist at USA Today.
Join me this week and every week for a critical look at this week's top news stories.
Yamiche Alcindor, the new moderator of Washington Week.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
Wow.
feast,
And calories don't count.
look back,
That is me.
discover,
You know the whole story.
there's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Welcome back. I'm Amna Zapan, and here's your Cronkite Sports Report. The Suns have been off to a shaky start this season and now are the subject of hefty allegations and an ongoing investigation. Cronkite News reporter Jaden Sormani has more on how players and fans feel about the controversy surrounding Robert Sarver.
Reaction came swiftly after ESPN writer Baxter Holmes released an article alleging 17-year Suns owner Robert Sarver has a history of misogyny and racism. The article dropped mere hours before the Suns took on the Houston Rockets at the Footprint Center. Members of the team were shocked by these allegations.
I wasn't aware of the situation, and my 7 years I've been here, I haven't noticed that, but that doesn't, make me insensitive to the subject. I think the NBA open investigation, they're going to do their due diligence of, bringing out facts instead of he said, she said.
It's not about what everybody else saying
or what everybody else telling you to do or what you should do. It's about how we feel as a team, as a unit, coaching staff, everybody within the organization.
Players, coaches, and fans alike were experiencing mixed emotions prior to Thursday night's matchup against the Houston Rockets. Many claiming that they are showing support for the team, not necessarily Robert Sarver.
I'm leaning more towards the side of believing that it's true, but I also just kind of want to wait until more information comes out. I do want to kind of, I guess, give him a chance because as we all know, like, we weren't there.
I thought it was crazy, man. I don't know why ESPN is saying these allegations when there's no proof about it, but truth's gonna come out. It's not us fans to decide about it.
Coach Monty Williams said after the game how proud he was of the team to unite among the controversy and get a much-needed win. The NBA has since launched an investigation into Robert Sarver and the Suns organization. In Phoenix, Jaden Sormani, Cronkite News.
The Suns play at home again tomorrow against Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. The Coyotes are in action tonight and will look to avoid tying an NHL record for most games to start a season without a win. Currently, the Coyotes sit at 10 losses total, 9 in regulation and 1 in overtime. Another loss tonight in Anaheim will tie the record held by both the 2017 Coyotes and the 1944 Rangers. One more possible defeat at the hands of the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night will secure the record. This spring will be the first season with former Sun Devil Willie Bloomquist at the helm for ASU baseball. Another former Sun Devil, Andre Ethier, was recently named to the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame and speaks highly of Bloomquist and the program.
Coach Willie's there, and he's going to be a great guy for the program and a great person. But if you realize, you go on that concourse and you see there's only been over 1,000 letter winners ever in the history of Arizona State baseball, and there's 113 major leaguers. So there's a 10% chance if you step on and put that uniform on, all you kids out there, anyone who wants to be a professional baseball player, you have a 10% chance of making the major leagues.
And that does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Carolina and Rob.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.